Assalamualaikum, this is Jiku. In this lecture, we will discuss a famous tragedy of William Shakespeare called Hamlet. So, without further ado, let's dive into the topic. Hamlet is one of the greatest tragedies written by William Shakespeare around 16,000 to 16,001. It is one of the revenge tragedies that present the tragic story of Prince Hamlet and explores the important human issues such as revenge, justice, morality, betrayal, appearance versus reality, madness, death, corruption, and indecision. The play is set in Denmark, mainly in Elsinore Castle, and is regarded as one of the finest works of English literature because of its deep psychological and philosophical ideas. The story begins after the death of King of Denmark. Soon after his death, his brother Claudius becomes the new king and marries widowed Queen Geetrude, who is Hamlet's mother. Hamlet is deeply saddened by his father's death and feels shocked and disappointed by his mother's quick marriage to his uncle. One night, the ghost of Hamlet's father appears before Hamlet and reveals the truth that he was murdered by Claudius. The ghost explains that Claudius poured poisons into his ear while he was sleeping in the garden and asked Hamlet to take revenge for his terrible crime. Hamlet believes the ghost but does not immediately kill Claudius because he wants clear proof of this murder. To discover the truth, he pretends to be mad. His revenge behavior confuses everyone in the royal court. Claudius becomes suspicious and asks Hamlet's friend, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to spy on him. To confirm Claudius' guilt, Hamlet arranges a play called The Mousetrap. The actors perform a scene that is almost the same as the murder described by the ghost. While watching the performance, Claudius becomes frightened and suddenly leaves the hall. His reaction convinces Hamlet that the ghost was telling the truth. Later, Hamlet goes to his mother's room and he speaks with her. During their conversation, he hears a noise behind a curtain and thinks Claudius is hiding there. Therefore, without checking, Hamlet steps through the curtain and accidentally kills Polonius, the chief advisor of the king. This mistake becomes one of the turning points in this tragedy. The death of Polonius is deeply affected by his daughter, Ophelia, who already suffers because of Hamlet's strange behavior. He gradually loses her sanity and later dies by drowning. Although her death appears accidental, many readers considered it a form of suicide because by grief and mental suffering. After hearing about father's death, Laertes, the son of Polonius, returned to Denmark and seeking revenge against Hamlet. Claudius cleverly uses Laertes' anger, secretly plans to kill Hamlet. They revenge a fencing match in which Laertes uses poisoned sword, while Claudius also prepares a cup of poisoned wine as a second plan. During the duel, Queen Geetrude unwillingly drinks the poisoned wine and dies. Hamlet and Laertes wound and each other with the poisoned sword. Before dying, Laertes confuses Claudius' evil plan and asks Hamlet for forgiveness. Finally, Hamlet kills Claudius and avenges his father's murder. However, the poison also kills Hamlet. At the end of the play, Fortinbras, the Prince of Norway, arrives to Denmark and becomes the new king, restoring the order of the kingdom. Major themes of the play. The central themes of the Hamlet are revenge, tragedy, justice, corruption, appearance versus reality, madness, morality, betrayal, moral conflict, indecision, human suffering, political ambitions, fate, free will, and the search for truth. Shakespeare uses those themes to show how ambition, crime, delayed action can destroy both individual and society. Major characters. Hamlet is a tragic hero of the play. He is intelligent, thoughtful, sensitive, philosophical, morally responsible, but his habit of overthinking and delaying actions finally leads him to his downfall. Claudius is the main antagonist. He murders his own brother and gains the throne, and later tries several times to kill Hamlet. He represents ambition, corruption, betrayal, and abuse of power. Gertrude. Gertrude is the Hamlet's mother and the Queen of Denmark. Her quick marriage to Claudius causes a great emotional pain to Hamlet and becomes one of the reasons for his inner conflict. The Ghost. The Ghost is the spirit of Hamlet's father. He reveals the truth about his murder and demands justice through revenge. Ophelia. Ophelia is Hamlet's beloved. She is innocent, gentle, obedient, and emotionally fragile. The death of her father and the losses of Hamlet eventually lead her madness and death. Polonius. Polonius is the chief advisor of the king. He is experienced, talkative, politically wise, but his habit of spying on others ultimately causes his death. Laertes. Laertes is the son of Polonius and the brother of Ophelia. He is brave, decisive, determined to avenge his father's death, and quick actions makes him an important foil character. Horatio. Horatio is Hamlet's closest friend. He is loyal, honest, calm, trustworthy. He survives at the end of the play and promises to tell Hamlet's story all around the world. Fortinbras. Fortinbras is the Prince of Norway. He is courageous, determined, and action-oriented. His success at the end contrasts with Hamlet's hesitation, symbolizes and restorations peace, political order. Important literary terms. Hamlet is a tragedy, more specifically a revenge tragedy. Hamlet is the tragic hero, Claudius is the antagonist, Laertes and Fortinbras serves as the foil characters. The ghosts act as the supernatural element. Hamlet's famous speeches are called soliloquies. Shakespeare frequently uses dramatic irony. Important quotation. One of the most important and famous lines in English literature, to be or not to be, that is the question. In this famous soliloquy, Hamlet thinks deeply about life, death, suffering, and the meaning of human existence. Another important quotation is, something is rotten in the state of Denmark. This line suggests that the corruption, dishonesty, moral decay have spread throughout the kingdom because Claudius' crimes. In conclusion, Hamlet is much more than a story of revenge. It is a profound study of human mind, moral responsibility, justice, political corruption, and the consequence of human hesitations. Through the tragic fate of Hamlet, Shakespeare teaches that evil may succeed for a short time, but truth and justice ultimately prevail through, although often the terrible cost. Now we'll look at a smart revision. The author of this play is William Shakespeare, and it was written around 16,000 to 1601. The genre of this play is a revenge tragedy, and the setting is Denmark, to be more specifically Alison Ross Castle. Here, the tragic hero is Hamlet and antagonist is Claudius. Play within play is the mousetrap. Famous soliloquy, to be or not to be, that is the question. Major theme is revenge, appearances versus reality, corruption, madness, morality, indecision, betrayal, justice. Ending. Claudius, Gertrude, Laertes, Hamlet all die, and the Fortinbras becomes the new king of Denmark.